I think there's some wisdom that you and I can learn that comes out of this passage, which has been definitely been reflecting on my life a little bit. And it comes from the passage in Second Chronicles chapter 20, verse 15. I don't know if I have talked about this passage. I might have before. It gets hard to realize what passages you've talked about, what passages you haven't when you have a lot of uploads on the channel. But I think this is another reminder about the promises that God gives us. One of those promises is that He is going to fight the battles in our life. And that verse is in Second Chronicles chapter 20, verses 15. And in this time, Judah was going through a severe dilemma. And that problem was that there were many enemy troops pretty much coming against Judah. One of those enemy troops, actually two of them, was Moab and Ammon, and those are the Moabites and the Ammonites, who are sort of cousins to the tribe of Judah because they come from Lot. Lot's descendants turn into the Moabites and the Ammonites. And so someone comes to the king at the time, King Jehoshaphat, a very righteous king. He is known for doing a lot of the reforms during his time. He took down some of the pagan altars, although there's still some left by the end of his term. He also reformed the judges system. He put in righteous judges and told them that they should obey God overall. And his father is known to be one who also obeyed and walked in the sight of God. And this is very rare during the time of Israel and Judah because many of these kings were wicked and many of these kings did what was pleasing in their own eyes. But when we look at Jehoshaphat's life, we see one who is surrendered to God in reverence. When someone comes and tells them that there is an army surrounding them, coming to attack them, it's called the Bible describes it as a multitude. Jehoshaphat immediately orders a fast throughout all Judah so that they could set their faces, and seek God. He has a beautiful prayer in verses 5 through 12. And I love this prayer, and this is not what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about God's response to this prayer. But I love this prayer because it recognizes that God is sovereign over all the situations in our life, that He is the one that we should be anchored towards. I love the fact that in this passage you see you are, your. He's attributing all these qualities that He has the ability to deliver Judah from all the nations. He has the ability. He is over all the kingdoms of the world. You are, your. Nothing about Him. It is all about God. And this response to this awesome prayer that Jehoshaphat makes to God is this, which we read in verses. I'm going to start from verses 14, and then we will get to verse 15 here. Then in the midst of the assembly, the Spirit of Yahweh came upon Jahaziel, the son of Zechariah, the son of Benaniah, the son of Jael, the son of Mattaniah, the Levite of the sons of Asaph. And he said, this is verse 15, "Pay attention, all Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem and King Jehoshaphat. Thus says Yahweh to you, do not fear or be dismayed because of this great multitude, for the battle is not yours, but God's." I want you to repeat that in your life. The battle is not yours, but God's. After Jehoshaphat had prayed that prayer, God sends a prophet along his way, someone who the Spirit of God was speaking to. And this is what God says: to not be afraid, to not fear. That phrase, do not fear, is the most repeated phrase you will find in the Bible. And it's a reminder that we, as children of God, do not need to fear because there is a God above fighting the battles for us. There's no need to be dismayed by the great armies that we face in our life because God is ultimately fighting the battles for us. In the end, Jehoshaphat would win the battle. Everyone is describing it as this great multitude is coming. You should all be afraid. That is the natural response we have when we face challenges in our lives. Fear. But God says the opposite. Do not fear. Have faith. Do not fear. Trust. Do not fear. Rely on God. The battle is not yours. The battle is God's. And so my prayer for you today is that many of us are experiencing these so-called silent battles in our lives. But who do we fix our eyes on in the end? Is it ourselves? Because when we fix our eyes on ourselves, all we do is worry and become afraid. And that ultimately leads to a loss in our battles. But if we remember, if we realize that there are just some battles, actually all battles, we can't fight on our own. There are battles that we are too weak for. Our strength fails, and we trust in God, then that is when the victory can be won. The victory is already won when Christ died on the cross. And so I hope this video blessed you. On that note, remember, the battle is not yours. The battle is God's.